morning, dear students. Dear students, in our today's class, we are going to discuss the first PUC fifth chapter by name Problem Solving Methodology. What actually this problem solving methodology means. So here, a small introduction is given. After that, we will come to the point. The term problem solving is used in many disciplines. Problem solving means generally if any person is having his own problems and those problems can be solved by himself or by his friends. And in the same way, if you take the mathematics, there are also some problems and those problems can be made solved by a teacher or the lecturer to the students. And then problem solving in all these two ways. There are few more types, in few more disciplines the problems can be solved. Not only few more disciplines but many disciplines are there. Through those disciplines, if any problem is there, we will try to solve. But now come to the computer science. Here we will see what actually means the problem solving is. Listen. The term problem solving is used in many disciplines, sometimes with different perspectives. This means as the what type of problem is there. Okay, sometimes the problem may be easier, sometimes more easy, and sometimes the problem may be little bit difficult, or it may be it may include too much of difficult or too much complex problem. Okay, based on the problem, we will try to solve by our own methods, and we will find the different methods for solving any of the problems. That is called as by different perspectives, and often with different terminologies. Terminologies means different methods are there, different formulas are there. Okay, and different steps have been taken to solve any of the problem. Like that, here in computer science also, you are having a chapter by name the problem solving methodology. Okay, and now we are coming to the point. The next point is the problem solving process starts with problem specification. Okay, if any problem specification is there, then by that specification we will try to solve any problem. If any problem is there, means it should have a specification. By that specification we will try to solve that problem. Okay, this is what that is called as problem solving process starts with problem specification. And next, and end with a correct program. Means if problem is there, if we try to solve that, okay, then think that if our problem has been solved, if our problem is solved, then it comes to an end with correct program. That means correct when we get the correct result, and when we get the exact result, then that is called as program ends with the the problem ends with the correct program. And next, here in your computer science, problem solving includes certain steps. Certain steps we need to follow to solve any of the problems in computer science. Come, we will see what are those steps. By following all those steps, how can we solve any of the problem? Okay, let us see. The steps to follow in problem solving process are. What are the steps to be followed in solving any problem? The first is problem definition. We need to understand what is the definition of the problem. Next is problem analysis. We need to analyze the problem. Next, algorithm development. Before solving the problem, we need to prepare an algorithm about that problem. And regarding these algorithms and problems, we will discuss later in the same chapter. Then coding, we need to write the exact coding. Okay, after that, testing and debugging. After writing the coding of the problem, okay, we will have to test the problem whether any errors are there. Okay, then we need to debug the errors. If errors are there, then we have to debug those errors. Then documentation and maintenance. A proper documentation should be given to the problem, and that problem should be maintained in a correct way. So these are the 6 steps which we need to follow while solving the problem. That is problem definition, problem analysis, algorithm development, coding, testing and debugging, documentation and maintenance. These are the few steps. That is all the 6 steps we need to follow while solving any of the problem. And last point is the stages of analysis, design, programming, implementation and maintenance from the life cycle of the system. Okay, along with all these steps we need to follow certain stages. That is the stages of analysis, then the stages of design, then programming, implementation, okay, and maintenance from the life cycle of the system. These things we have to follow to solve any of the problem. And after that we will see what is the definition of the problem and how can we define the problem, in what way we need to analyze the problem, and how can we do algorithm development, then what type of coding should be needed, then how can we test the problem and how to debug, then what is meant by documentation and maintenance. Now from here we are going to discuss. And now the next thing we have to discuss is among the steps which we have to take while solving a problem. Among those steps, the first step, that is what is meant by the problem definition. We have to understand this thing at first. Problem definition is this step, okay, defines the problem thoroughly. Thoroughly means completely. Okay, what this step will do? This step will define the problem thoroughly. It means explains the problem completely. Okay, after that, here requirements are specified. Specified means while giving a problem definition, what are the things needed, what are the requirements are there, which are the things should be needed to solve this problem. Okay, all these things are specified under the definition. Next, this step includes understanding the problem very well. Okay, before to solve the problem, we have to understand. A problem solver has to understand the problem very well. Only if he can understand the problem, then only he can able to solve the problem. Next, the problem solver must understand the problem very well. Okay, that is what I said is here explained. That is a problem solver, a person who will solve the problem, he needs to understand the problem very well. Okay, if he does not understand the problem very well, then he cannot able to solve that problem after that. Here, to solve problem efficiently. Efficiently means to clearly and perfectly solve. Okay, to solve clearly and perfectly a problem, the problem solver, that means a person who will solve the problem should have to understand the problem very well. Only if he has understand the problem, then only he can able to solve that problem. And next, the second, this is about the problem definition. Next, problem analysis. What is meant by problem analysis? Okay, analyzing means what? What the word problem analysis actually means. Here, analysis the problem identifying the following steps. Here some steps as given. Okay, to analyze the problem, to understand the problem, to take a pictorial representation in our mind of a problem. Okay, and to take an abstract view of a problem. That is how a problem should be. What are the things should be included in the problem, and after which step has to come. Okay, like this. If step by step we take proper work, and then only we can able to solve the problem. Then we have to analyze the problem. Okay, to solve, first problem definition is needed. Next thing, problem analysis. Come, we shall see. Under analysis, what are the things needed? Input means the data you have to work with. That means you have to work with the data. For example, we need to find a result, or we need to find the sum of few numbers. Just like 25, 50. Okay, the total will be the 40. Inputs means that is data you have to work. These things we will call them as inputs. Because without this data, without input, we cannot get the problem's solution. So to get any problem solution, this is an example I am giving. Okay, to get any problem solution, we need to take the inputs, that is the data you have to work with. With the data which you have to work, that data is called as input. Next thing, outputs, that is the desired results. If we take the inputs, then after solving, what the result will come, that is called as output. This is called as the desired result. Okay, and next, finally the third one, any additional requirements on the solutions. Okay, here this is the solution and itself is the output. On this solution, on any problem solution, just this is I am giving example to you, that a problem may be like this, but this is also a problem. I am giving it as an example. Later we will see what type of problems we will get in computer science. Okay, here on this result, on the solution, okay, if any additional requirements are there, okay, any additional things are needed for the solution, those things we have to understand before solving the problem itself. That is called as problem analysis. Means we have to think what are the inputs needed, and after giving the inputs, what output should we have to get. Okay, then after getting output, if any additional requirements are needed for that output, these are all the things we have to analyze before to solve the problem. Analyzing means we have to think, we have to prepare. That is called as analysis. Understanding, that is called as analysis here. And come, we are going to see now the rest of the steps. What are the steps more needed to solve any problem? Next thing, that is what is meant by algorithm. We have to understand first. Then we will move to the next steps. What actually means the algorithm? Maybe you have heard the word algorithm, but you have to understand what is meant by the algorithm and from where the word algorithm came from and who is the person who has introduced this algorithm. See, algorithm is a step-by-step procedure. Algorithm is a step-by-step procedure. While writing algorithm, you may see that step 1, step 2, step 3, like that stepwise algorithm has been written. And it has to write in that way only by giving steps, that is step 1, step 2, step 3, likewise. And it is a step-by-step procedure to solve a given problem. If any problem is there, to solve that problem, we need to take few steps, and that step by step procedure we will call it as algorithm. And next, the word algorithm originates from the word algorithm. Okay, the word algorithm, it has been originated from the word algorithm, which means, okay, what is meant by this algorithm? Algorithm means process of doing arithmetic. Okay, what is meant by arithmetic? The arithmetic numbers, the arithmetic problems. Okay, the process of doing arithmetic with, okay, process of solving arithmetic problems with the help of Arabic numerals. Okay, along with the arithmetic numbers, we will use Arabic numerals. That is called as here algorithm. Next, who is the person who has developed this algorithm? See, in 9th century, an Arab mathematician by name Muhammad al-Khwarizmi. His name is Muhammad al-Khwarizmi, who developed, okay, methods for solving a problem. He has given the methods to solve any particular problem. He has given some method, and which is used specific step by step instructions. In that method, the method which was given by Muhammad al-Khwarizmi, that method to solve a problem, which includes, the method has included the step by step instructions. It means that Muhammad al-Khwarizmi has introduced algorithm. He is a person who has introduced algorithm because he has given the method of solving problem, which includes step by step inspection, and algorithm is also a step by step procedure. So by this thing we have understood that an algorithm has introduced by a person by name Muhammad al-Khwarizmi. So by this thing we are going to stop our today's class. In our next class we are going to discuss what are the next things and next steps. Till then, thank you.